Alright, buckle up buttercups because we are diving deep into something absolutely massive, something that goes way beyond just 90 minutes of football and a few goals. I'm talking about the 2026 FIFA World Cup, an event that promises to be epic on the field, but also one that's quietly brewing into a political pressure cooker off it, and honestly it's got me thinking this might just be the most politically charged World Cup in history. You see, we often think of the World Cup as this beautiful escape from the world's problems, a moment where nations unite over the love of the game, but let me tell you, the reality is far more complex. This time around, with 3 host nations and a world in constant flux, the political undercurrents are stronger than ever before, and I'm here to unpack every single one of them with you. We're going to explore how global tensions, local disputes, and even individual activism are all converging on this monumental event, creating a fascinating and sometimes worrying tapestry of international relations. This isn't just about who wins the trophy, folks, it's about what the world stage reveals about us, about our divisions and our hopes. So grab a snack, get comfortable, because we're about to embark on a journey through the intricate web of politics that's already starting to define the 2026 World Cup long before the first whistle blows. I want you to walk away from this video not just informed, but truly understanding the immense stakes involved beyond the pitch. First up, let's talk about the unprecedented triple host situation, with Canada, Mexico, and the United States sharing the duties. This setup alone is a political marvel and a potential minefield, because while it sounds great on paper, bringing 3 North American neighbors together, the reality of their individual and collective political landscapes is anything but simple. Think about the long-standing complexities between the US and Mexico, especially concerning immigration, trade, and border security, which are always hot-button issues. How do you manage the free flow of fans and teams across a border that's often a symbol of division for so many people? The rhetoric around the border has been incredibly charged for years, and suddenly you're asking millions of people to traverse it for a sporting event, which creates an immediate challenge for security, logistics, and public perception. We've seen political figures on both sides use the border as a talking point for their own agendas, and now it becomes a central artery for a global celebration. It's a fascinating juxtaposition, a celebration of unity happening right alongside deeply entrenched political disagreements that won't just disappear because there's a football tournament happening. I mean, imagine the protests or the political statements that could arise right at those crossing points. Then you have the United States itself, a nation often deeply divided along political lines, with ongoing debates about social justice, economic inequality, and its role on the global stage. Hosting such a massive event means every one of those internal debates gets amplified on a global scale under the harsh glare of international media. Any local protest, any significant social movement happening in one of the host cities will instantly become a worldwide story tied directly to the World Cup narrative. It's a huge platform for both positive change and for airing grievances, which can be both powerful and incredibly disruptive. Canada, while often seen as a more politically stable nation, still has its own internal dynamics, including indigenous rights issues and regional political differences that could come to the forefront. The world will be watching, and the spotlight will be intense, meaning that any domestic political issue in any of the 3 host countries could quickly become an international talking point. This shared hosting arrangement is a bold experiment in international cooperation, but it also means triple the domestic political headaches and triple the potential for controversy, which is something FIFA and the host organizing committees are surely grappling with right now. It's not just about building stadiums, it's about navigating entire national political ecosystems. Beyond the host nations, we need to consider the broader global geopolitical landscape, which is Frankly, more volatile than it's been in decades, and this will absolutely cast a long shadow over the 2026 World Cup. The ongoing tensions between major global powers like the US and China, for instance, could manifest in subtle or not so subtle ways throughout the tournament. We're talking about everything from sponsorship deals and broadcasting rights to the treatment of specific national teams or fan groups. The economic and political rivalry between these two giants is a constant backdrop to almost every major international event now. Imagine a scenario where political rhetoric between these nations escalates just before or during the tournament, potentially impacting travel restrictions, visa processes, or even the atmosphere surrounding matches involving teams from those regions. It's not just about direct conflict, but about the pervasive influence of these rivalries on every aspect of global interaction. This isn't just a game anymore, it's a stage where geopolitical dramas play out in real time. The way these powerful nations interact or clash will undoubtedly shape the overall experience of the World Cup for everyone involved. And let's not forget the devastating war in Ukraine, which continues to impact global politics, energy markets, and international alliances. The ripple effects of this conflict are far-reaching and will undoubtedly still be felt profoundly in 2026, potentially influencing team participation, fan sentiment, and even security concerns. Will there be ongoing sanctions affecting certain nations or individuals? How will the presence of teams from countries aligned with different sides of the conflict affect the atmosphere and interactions between fans? The World Cup has always been a platform for national identity and pride, but when that pride is intertwined with ongoing geopolitical conflicts, it can become incredibly complex and emotionally charged. We've already seen how sports have been used as tools of diplomacy and protest in this conflict, and 2026 will be no different. The human element of this is immense, with players and fans carrying the weight of their nations' struggles onto the global stage. It's going to be a delicate balance for FIFA to manage these deeply emotional and politically sensitive situations without taking sides, but also without ignoring the reality of the world. Human rights issues also remain a critical point of contention for any major sporting event, and the 2026 World Cup will be no exception. While the host nations might not face the same level of scrutiny as, say, Qatar did, there are still significant human rights debates within Canada, Mexico, and the US that could attract international attention. Issues like indigenous rights, immigration policies, and racial justice are deeply embedded in the political fabric of these countries, and activists will undoubtedly use the World Cup platform to highlight their causes. This is where the power of global media attention really comes into play. We've seen countless examples of athletes and fans using major sporting events to make powerful statements, and I fully expect this trend to continue and even intensify in 2026. Players wearing armbands, making gestures, or speaking out on social media can instantly turn a sporting moment into a political one. FIFA has historically tried to limit political expressions on the field, but the pressure from athletes and public opinion is immense and often irresistible. It creates a fascinating tension between FIFA's desire for neutrality and the athletes' fundamental right to express themselves and advocate for change. This brings us to FIFA itself, an organization with its own long and often controversial history of political entanglement and corruption allegations. FIFA's attempts to remain apolitical often clash with the reality that every decision it makes, from host selection to rule enforcement, has political implications. The organization is constantly walking a tightrope, balancing commercial interests with ethical responsibilities and public scrutiny. How will FIFA navigate the inevitable political storms that will arise before and during the 2026 World Cup? Will they adopt a more lenient stance on player activism, or will they try to crack down? Their approach will significantly influence how these political tensions play out and whether the tournament is seen as a unifying force or another platform for division. The world is watching FIFA's leadership very closely to see how they uphold their stated values, while managing the immense commercial pressures of such a massive event. It's a high-stakes game for them too, not just for the teams on the field. Their credibility is constantly on the line, especially after past controversies, and the 2026 World Cup will be a major test of their ability to lead transparently and ethically. Athlete and fan activism is another huge factor that will undoubtedly shape the political narrative of the 2026 World Cup. Modern athletes are increasingly aware of their platforms and are less afraid to speak out on social and political issues that matter to them. From racial justice to climate change to human rights, we've seen powerful statements made by athletes at major sporting events, and this trend is only going to grow. These aren't just entertainers anymore, they are influential figures with global reach, and their voices carry immense weight. Imagine a star player making a powerful statement about immigration policies in one of the host nations, or protesting a global conflict right after scoring a crucial goal. That moment instantly transcends sports and becomes a global political discussion point. It's a powerful tool for change, but it also presents significant challenges for organizers who are trying to maintain a focus on the game itself. The tension between freedom of expression and maintaining order and neutrality will be a constant balancing act throughout the tournament. And it's not just athletes, fans too are increasingly organized and vocal about their political beliefs. We could see fan groups from different nations clashing or uniting over political issues, creating incredibly dynamic and potentially volatile situations in and around stadiums. The internet and social media have made it easier than ever for like-minded individuals to connect and organize protests or demonstrations. This presents a huge security challenge for the host cities and for FIFA. Managing diverse fan groups with potentially conflicting political views in close proximity requires incredibly sophisticated planning and diplomacy. The atmosphere in the stands can quickly shift from celebratory to confrontational if political tensions boil over. This is a real concern that goes beyond typical crowd control and delves into the realm of managing international political sentiment within a sporting context. It adds another layer of complexity to an already monumental logistical undertaking for the host countries. Finally, let's talk about the media's role, because in today's interconnected world, the media is not just reporting the news, it's often shaping the narrative and sometimes even exacerbating political tensions. Global media outlets will descend upon the 2026 World Cup with their own biases, their own national perspectives, and their own agendas. How they choose to frame the political issues, the stories they highlight, and the voices they amplify will significantly influence public perception around the world. It's a powerful force that can either unite or divide. We're living in an age of information warfare where misinformation and propaganda can spread like wildfire, especially on social media. Political actors and state-sponsored media might try to leverage the World Cup stage to push their own narratives or discredit their opponents. This makes it incredibly challenging for the average viewer to discern truth from political spin and to form an informed opinion. The World Cup becomes a battleground not just for football teams but for hearts and minds. The role of social media in particular cannot be overstated, as it provides an unfiltered platform for individuals and groups to share their views, organize protests, and challenge official narratives. While this can be a force for good, it also means that any controversial incident, any political statement, any perceived injustice can instantly go viral and spark global outrage. This rapid dissemination of information means that organizers and governments have to be incredibly agile and transparent in their responses. So as we look ahead to the 2026 World Cup, I want you to remember that it's going to be so much more than just a football tournament. It will be a grand spectacle of sport, yes, but it will also be a global stage for political discourse, a mirror reflecting the current state of our world with all its complexities, its divisions and its aspirations. The beautiful game will play out against a backdrop of incredibly powerful political currents, and understanding these forces will make watching the tournament an even richer and more insightful experience. I encourage you all to watch with a critical eye, to listen to the diverse voices that will emerge, and to consider the deeper implications of what you're seeing beyond the scorelines. The 2026 World Cup will be a testament to human spirit both on and off the field, and it will offer us a unique window into the geopolitical landscape of our time. It's going to be wild, it's going to be unforgettable, and it's definitely going to be something we talk about for years to come, not just for the goals, but for the political drama that unfolds. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep this important conversation going.